Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. It's your boy Hugh here from Creator Up. So I just received a notification from Kandao Qoocam right here. Now, this 3D 180 camera can do 3D photo directly on Facebook. So if you don't know what is 3D photo on Facebook, so right now it's actually become kind of a trend right now. So people post a lot of 3D photos on Facebook. It literally went viral, just like this meme. So if you're wondering what's going on here, so it's a Qoocam attached on a vibration damper on my DJI drone. So in the next video, I'm gonna review this entire setup and also show you how to 3D print this whole thing and assemble it yourself so you can create a really smooth 360 aerial adventure or 360 VR 180 aerial adventure with the Kandao Qoocam or the other cameras. But today we're not talking about this. Today we're talking about 3D photos like this one. If you don't know, you can actually use an iPhone to take portrait mode and upload on Facebook and create some amazing 3D photos. But with the Kandao Qoocam, which is a dedicated 3D camera, you can really control the 3D effect through that map. With that map, you can make the 3D effect more dramatic, so you can have a even more crazier 3D effect. If you see my recent post on my Facebook, you see the touching finger post. That's how I create that with the crazy effect from this camera. And I will show you exactly how to do that with iPhone or with the Kandao Qoocam. So let's go on a Pokemon hunt with the Kandao Qoocam together. And my best friend right here. Let's go. Obviously, the Kandao Qoocam and an iPhone. So go ahead and connect your Kandao Qoocam with the iPhone. As you see, hopefully you see right here, this little arm. I usually have this little arm. It can be anything to get your hand out of the frame, because this camera do capture everything. So that's a good way to get your hand out of the frame. And also, I usually use my iPhone, put it right there, so I can have a live preview when taking a picture. So there's some trick for you to using the VR 180 camera. And I sometimes also put a leveler right here to make sure that my hand is level. So that's also very important for VR 180. But again, we're taking 3D photos, so that does not really matter. So there's 4 principles I would suggest you to follow to taking any 3D photos. First is distance. Distance to the object is very important. So as you see right now, I am 2 to 3 feet away from the Bulbasaur. Go ahead and snap a picture. And then I try to find a different angle to just make it look cool. But again, the distance is very important. According to research, to have the best 3D effect, you should keep your camera 2 to 3 feet away from the subject you try to photograph. That is principle 1. Principle 2 is try to find objects interesting and adjust your angle. So one cool thing about using the Kandao Qoocam is you can shoot now and find the focal point later. You can't do it with the iPhone, but this camera, you can refocus in post. So it's one good thing that to create very interesting objects. To actually find, you want to focus on the Bulbasaur's head or his back or the pumpkin instead. So I can find all this to focus in post, but still you try to find the best angle and have some thought to photograph your image. That's actually really important. Even Qoocam can help you to do that in post. The third thing is I will pay attention to color contrast. So the Bulbasaur is green. I can put it on the grass is green, but will not have that much contrast. So instead, I'll actually put it on top of whatever this thing is, but kind of far away from the background. The background is actually white, so Bulbasaur's green will stand out the white background. But if you put Bulbasaur in the grass, green against green, and have no depth in the scene, you will not have a pretty interesting 2D effects. So I'm always trying to create some color contrast and at the same time create some distant concept. So we actually have depth in the entire scene, like we have in here. The last thing is pay attention to your shooting surrounding. So depth map or any 3D depth effect really hate transparent object like glasses or plastic, so don't photograph any of those. And also with the sun shot shining on an object, if you have a reflective surface like a metal, it's also gonna mess up the 3D effect. So try to avoid like bright reflective object and spot or sunspot, window, all this. Try to avoid that to make sure that you will not mess up your optical flow 3D effect with your iPhone as well as your camera right here. So that is some tips and tricks on actually shooting the 3D photo. So now let's go ahead and take some photos together. So now go ahead and open the Kandao Qoocam app. First, you want to connect the app to the camera, and then go into camera albums and go find the image and go ahead and download to your local albums. Then you can go into your app albums, which is where all the 3D photo you just downloaded, and go ahead and pick one photos. Go ahead and pick this one we just downloaded. And then I will pick the ratio. So if I post on Facebook, usually I like to post 1 by 1 because you get the massive resolution on people's feed. So you actually draw most amount of attention, and you do need the realistic on your phone to create that 3D effect. So I highly recommend choose 1 by 1. And then now we'll choose a focus point. So before we choose a focus point, let's also choose where you want to position your subject. So one good thing to using a camera like the Kandao Qoocam 3D camera to capture 3D photo is you can capture first and refocus later. So you can design where do you want to focus. On here, I want to focus actually on Bulbasaur's eyes. So go ahead and hit this button right here and tap his eye to refocus it. And again, the focus string is super strong right now, so you would just put it down. I usually, for now, recommend go all the way to the bottom. Just have a subtle string, subtle 2D effect or depth map to create that effect. To me, generally produce the best result. So after that, go ahead and hit right here to share button and go ahead and download into albums. And then just save as a portrait. Go ahead and hit done. And then it's finished. Now go ahead and open your albums. And then we'll go ahead and open Facebook. Now Facebook is open and my friend Kevin just posted his 3D photos. But now go ahead and find my profile. And then you can scroll down in the post right here. What's in your mind? Tap that. And if you keep scrolling down, you see 3D photos. Take that. And from here, and go ahead and pick which photo you want to create 3D effects. So that Facebook do its magic. And now see, if you move around the phone, you see that Bulbasaur is popping out of the screen. Right there. And now go ahead and hit next. So I don't want to post this in the public, so I make sure that this is not public. This is only me for testing purposes. Hit done. And then write some description. And then if you like try to scroll it, you see the 3D effects when people scrolling. But go ahead and hit share. If you go back on your post, you see the 3D icon right here in Facebook. Let Facebook download your 3D photos. There you go. So if you scroll down, check this out. Bulbasaur, magic finger pose. If you scroll back up, and you can also move around your phone to 3D effects, also right here. And that's how you use Qoocam or iPhone to post 3D photos on Facebook. So I forgot to mention, if you're watching this video, it's probably already Black Friday or Cyber Monday. So if you want to get some saving on the Kandao Qoocam right here, they actually doing the entire store 20% off, and I put the link below so you can go ahead and check them out. That also including the professional camera, the Kandao Obsidian S and R, the very expensive one. So if you want to buy that professional camera, right now is a good time to save you almost $1,000 to get that camera. So in the next video, we're gonna review this vibration damper right here on my DJI to teach you how to 3D print and assemble it yourself, and then also attach using camera like the GoPro Fusion installed using 1X or the Kandao Qoocam with it, so you can fly it, create some amazing 360 adventure. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumb up. If you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, you might consider subscribe. And I will see you next time.